Good evening and welcome to the TLC Unleashed Show, Hollywood Vibes, Sports and Life. Yet another week we are here in the studio. It's amazing. I was just talking about the weather here, 80, 90 degrees in California, and I'm back from New York City. So it's finally, I can say I've been to NYC. What a great experience. So amazing. Thank you to Lux Travel for all our travel accommodations and also the Sheraton Hotel in Tribeca. So we went there for the Tribeca Film Festival. It was so much fun. The movie ESPN 30 for 30, The Year of the Scab, featuring the Washington Redskins and a feature player, Craig McEwen. So shout out to him, president of the NFL alumni in San Diego. And what a great experience. I wanted to share, first of all, before we dive in and introduce my guest, my experience on Delta Airlines. So, as I was saying, not as bad as United Airlines, but so after leaving the radio station last week, it was a drive. It was a fast drive, so we had to get there real quick. We got there 47 minutes before our flight was taking off to go to New York City and San Diego. And I heard over the intercom, we need 42 passengers to go off this flight. And we also need you to not check any of your bags, and all the bags have to come off. This flight is not leaving until this happens. So I go, wow, I feel sorry for that airline, whoever's taking that plane. And I look over at Craig and he's kind of just not paying attention. Anyway, so we walk up and I don't know, there was just this energy and this buzz around the whole gate that we were going to. And I go, oh no, this is not going to be good. So then I hear this lady screaming. People, it's like out of a movie. It's very negative energy and it's just not going well. So they're like, everyone has to come off the plane and we're not leaving. And people are screaming and yelling, and people, passengers that are about to board, they're not letting us on. So they go, people have to volunteer. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do. So I look over at Craig, and Mr. McEwen had quite a few beads of sweat on his forehead. And I was just like, he goes, I don't have a good feeling about this. So I walked up and I started to talk to them, and they were like, no, we're not moving. The plane's not leaving. So this lady was screaming and yelling. Her husband's filming, and the police are coming. And anyway, so at that point I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead, and I don't want to die tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and volunteer myself off of this plane because this is not going to go well. I just had a really bad instinct. My intuition was going off, and from the looks of Craig, his was as well. So I made the choice to not fly that evening. And then they lost our luggage. It was sent to another airport. And then, not only that, we had to take a town car. I hadn't showered for a day because we slept over at a hotel for 4 hours. And so basically after that, I had no luggage. So my gown that I had bought, all my jewelry and all my makeup, and my hair's in a bun, mind you. I haven't showered for a day and a half. And this is not good. So I'm running around frantically like a maniac. And of course, I'm being a total girl at this point. And I was like, I don't have a dress. I don't have heels. I don't have this. And blah, 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 blah. I don't have makeup. So I just panicked. Basically, I spent about $780 out of the gate, literally 15 minutes off of the airplane, running to get to, I don't even know where I am. So I have to get to the other side of New York City, and my luggage is somewhere else. So basically, I'm going down to Brooklyn. We're getting shoes here, earrings there, makeup there. And we get to the film festival late. Don't have a camera, don't have a microphone, can't do my job, so I can't interview anyone. And it was just a gong show. Basically missed pretty much the whole movie. And so I couldn't do my job, but you know what? I went the next day and saw the movie. It was fantastic. I finally got my luggage a day later, and I didn't look as pretty as I wanted to on the red carpet, but you know what? Whatever. Thank you to Juicy Couture in Tribeca Airport for helping me out. So that was my experience, and then the rest of it was phenomenal. So having said that, I wanted to share my Delta Airline disaster with you guys, and now I'd like to introduce to the show my guest and friend, Ryan Melendez, and his mom and dad, Crystal and Bill. welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm
Thanks so
excited to
much.
have you guys here.
Yeah, it's super pleased to be here.
Yes, of course. So Ryan and I met, I guess it was probably maybe about 3 or 4 months ago now, in San Diego at a charity golf tournament. It was Loopers Against Leukemia. What a great charity as well.
It was an awesome day. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. So how did you get involved with them, Ryan?
Um, so ever since I was diagnosed with cancer, September 10th, 2015, I've just kind of taken that opportunity to go around and share my story with as many people as possible, and companies and charities like Loopers Against Leukemia.
Yeah.
They've reached out to me, and I've been fortunate enough to just spread the word and just help raise a little more money for cancer research here and there.
I love it. Well, you have done that. I mean, you're just such a great, role model for all these other people and just such a great person. I heard you speak there and I just adored you right off the bat. I was like, you're my own son because I was listening to you speak and you're just so well spoken. But the thing that I really admire about you, Ryan, is that the whole time that you were speaking, even through your journey and what you've been through, you had a smile on your face that just, and I don't want to cry because I'm not going to, but just seeing that just really made me realize what a courageous young man you are. And I just wanted to say that, and I really admire you.
Thank you. I feel, I mean, there's obviously days that are harder than most, but I feel like in order to beat something like this or anything really difficult in life, you just have to focus on all the positives and just try and keep the negatives out of your mind, because those will only slow you down and kind of keep you from achieving your goal.
Yes. Well, you're a remarkable young man, 18 years old now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about your childhood. You're, a little guy growing up. I mean, what's life been like for you up until the last 2 years?
So growing up, grades have always been a very important thing to me. Went to school and got nothing worse than a B. And my father's been a horse trainer of Arabian horses basically since he was my age. And so horses have always been a very big part of my life, and I've shown horses ever since I could really sit up in a saddle. And I used to play a lot of baseball until I threw out my arm in 8th grade, and that's when I discovered golf. And that really became a huge passion of mine, and really just took as many steps as I could to try and achieve the highest level of that I could at the time, and also play a lot of music.
Okay. What kind of music? So you play the guitar, you sing?
I play the guitar. Me and my dad have been playing for quite a while now together, and I sing a little bit, but
Okay.
definitely just try and stick to the guitar, and definitely an old soul. Like
Yeah.
Crosby, Stills, and Nash is my favorite band, so
I love it. I love that. So, your grades were good. I know that your goal was always to be at Stanford.
Yes.
Isn't that right?
yeah.
Yeah, I read that about you. And I knew you were a smart cookie when I met you and, very dedicated with your grades and things like that. Obviously, I can see the example that's been set by your parents just meeting them, here today. So, okay, so you're playing baseball, you're, with horses, you're doing all this stuff, you're athletic. You're a good golfer too.
I was
Yeah, he's being humble, you guys. He's a good golfer.
Very good.
Very good. So, an exceptional golfer. So, I mean, you are like the superstar all-star kid. So, 16 years old, September 10th?
17.
17 years old, September 10th. And what happens?
So there's a little bit more of a backstory to that. So I was going into my senior year, last year of high school, with the hopes of going to somewhere like Stanford or a prestigious college like that. And so right before school started, me and my family, we went to Las Vegas the week before the start of school, just as kind of like a quick kind of getaway, kind of stress reliever thing. And the thing I remember the most about that trip was just I was just super tired and would sleep in till like 12 o'clock, which is really not like me. I was always a early riser and stuff. And on the way back, I noticed there was like this bump on my leg and just kind of scratched it. Thought it was no big deal. Uh, Come to find out, a few days later, it got infected. Went to the ER. It had to be lanced and uh, packed with gauze and stuff, and so they patched that up and started giving me antibiotics. And then 6 days into my senior year, I was sitting out at lunch, and it's outside, and I remember it was like 100 degrees that day, but I was shivering. So I went into the nurse's office, and I had a low grade temperature of like 99 degrees, but just really was not feeling myself. And so I went home. The following day, I had a temperature of 101, and I'm normally someone that just never ever gets sick. I mean, my mom always tells me, "Suck it up, go to school anyways." So
Just like me.
but it was just really odd. So then I started throwing up that day, and it was a Thursday, and so we went to the hospital. Doctors looked me over, didn't take any blood tests, and said, "Oh, it's just a virus. Just let it run its course, and there's nothing we can really do about it."
There
So,
was a reason the doctors didn't take blood tests. You should share that.
Tell me that reason. Yeah, what happened there?
well,
Does Dad want to
what
tell us?
was?
Ryan has had a needle
Oh,
phobia,
yeah,
and really a bad one.
yeah,
Okay.
needles. I've
So the
always,
doctors were being kind and say, "Well, we're not going to draw blood from you."
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So then, uh, so we went home, and there was nothing I could really do. Next day, temperature continued to rise, and was throwing up even more. Returned back to the hospital, different doctor, same thing. Oh, you have a virus. Just let it run its course. So then Sunday comes along, and that morning I threw up so much that the whites in my eyes, the blood vessels burst, and they turned all red. So I mean, it was great for Halloween that was coming up, but just really was not feeling great, and couldn't even walk. So once third day in a row, went back to the same hospital, different doctor. This time the doctor took one look at me, and he said, "We're ordering blood tests right now." And turned out that I was in septic shock, and they rushed me by ambulance to Rady Children's Hospital. And instantly I had, once I arrived, 13, 14 doctors and nurses just trying to keep me alive. My organs were shutting down. And so then the following 3 days I spent in the pediatric intensive care unit. Just they had no idea what was wrong with me. They were just trying to keep me alive, figure out what it was. And then on September 10th, 2015, I was diagnosed. They came to me and said that I had cancer, and I have acute lymphoblastic leukemia, which is most commonly found in 5-year-olds. So because of my age, I was considered a very high-risk patient. And so then the following day, September 11th, they immediately started chemo. And then that night, I spiked 107-degree temperature, which there's not a lot of people that have done well with that. So
Yeah.
I'm just very fortunate to be alive.
Wow. Okay, Mom and Dad, you guys are going through this. This is your baby. And, so the doctors are sending you guys away. And, as parents, we kind of have that intuition. But, how are you feeling about the doctors sending you guys away? Were you thinking, okay, this is just a virus? Okay, he'll be fine.
Yeah, no, I the first doctor we took him to was his primary doctor, and she's the one that knew about his needle phobia because about a month prior it took 45 minutes of negotiations for him to get like his regular shots, like a meningitis shot, and
Okay.
then HIV. What was it?
Ending deal of that was I got to go play around at Torrey Pine, or sorry, at Pebble Beach.
Yeah,
But
that's how we got him. We said, look, if you get your shots, we'll take you to Pebble Beach to golf. But so, I don't really blame her, in regards to that. And literally, I've talked to a ton of parents that have kids who are diagnosed with leukemia, and it's a common theme that the first diagnosis is that they have a virus.
Yeah.
But when he was not, my instincts kicked in the second day when he had developed a rash on his body, and his fever was still escalating,
Yeah.
and the fact that he's always been super healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think maybe in his entire lifetime he took 2 doses of antibiotics. So when I went back to the second doctor, it was a different doctor. I did feel as if I was kind of like a mom that was being hyper,
The hypersensitive
yeah,
mom.
correct.
I
Yeah,
get
the
it.
one that's like, so, but my instincts were kicking in. So then that following day on Sunday, when I saw him and when his eyes were bloodshot like that, when they burst, it's because he had no platelets. So leukemia is basically a disease of your bone marrow, and it attacks your immune system and your blood cells, and it's like a factory. Your bone marrow is a factory,
Okay.
and it produces your white blood cells and your red blood cells. And the leukemia cells, what it does is it suffocates. It basically is like giant marshmallows in your bone marrow, and it basically chokes out your, all your other blood cells. So his platelets also are involved. So that's the reason why is he had that reaction in his eyes. So I just when I took him that final day on that Sunday, September 6th, I didn't really I didn't expect it. The doctor had told me that when he got the blood results back, he basically said, we're rushing you to Rady's Children's Hospital by ambulance. And I am going to hope that your son only has toxic shock syndrome. And I'm like, well, that doesn't sound very good. Just that. And I think that he knew that there was the CBC panel, blood panel came back, showed signs of leukemia, but they needed to do a bone marrow test to confirm it. But because he was so sick, they couldn't even test his bone marrow because he was in the ICU fighting for his life. And I'll never forget that because Bill was at a horse show up in Santa Barbara, had just finished, and the nurse, the trauma nurse, had told us, you need to call your family members. And that was the scariest day of my life for sure.
Yeah. I was on my way to the Santa Barbara airport. I can't even talk.
It's okay. It's hard
Yeah.
because it's you get you back to that moment.
Yeah.
And I got that call from Ryan's stepdad, Crystal's husband, and it was unusual because he just said to me, "How's your trip going?" I said, "Well, I'm going to be there, probably 5 hours." And he said, "Well, can you get here any quicker?" And when he said that, I said, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
And it was tough. It's still tough.
Yeah, as a parent, we were discussing that earlier. I can't even imagine. It's something you can't even put myself in your shoes because as a parent, you just think of all those things that are going through your head, and then, the doctor comes in and being parents, you got to be strong for your kids too, and that's the hardest part because we need to fall sometimes too when
Right.
we're going through stuff like this, but we got to be, the ones that are standing tall. So when the doctor said, your son has cancer, how did that feel? I mean, was it surreal?
Well, I remember my first words are you frickin' kidding me? And I honestly thought it was a joke because, it's just, I honestly didn't know that, people my age, could get cancer at the time. And it was just,
Yeah.
it's just like the last thing you ever expect to hear.
Yeah.
We had, several doctors coming through, and I remember this one doctor, Jeff, Crystal's husband, Ryan's stepdad, and I think we were about ready to take him out in the hallway and beat the crap out of him because he started talking about cancer. And I said, I looked at Jeff and I said, we can't be talking this way. And so we were pretty upset about that. He ended up being one of Ryan's best doctors. That was,
Yeah. But I mean, the thing that really hits home for us as a family. So when you asked that question, how did it feel when they told me that my son had cancer? Unfortunately, I come from a family that my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she relapsed, and she fought, and she unfortunately passed away. My stepfather was diagnosed with chronic leukemia, CML. I'm so sorry, I don't remember the middle name, initial of that, but CML, and he fought for 17 years, and he passed away. And then my father, Ryan's grandfather, was diagnosed with melanoma, and he was given 3 months to live. And we found a clinical trial for him that he surpassed that by 17 months. And so that was Ryan. He actually saw his grandfather go through cancer. So when Ryan looked at me, when he found out that we had the doctors, huddle in the ICU room and tell him, he looked up at me and he said, Mom, am I going to die from this? And I said, No, son, you're not going to die from this cancer. I promise you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine. And I lost my mom 5.5 years ago to cancer as well, esophageal cancer. And watching somebody you love, my mom was my mentor and my rock, and she was my best friend. And just seeing, someone deteriorate from this is just the most, traumatic thing I can ever say that I've been through. So, to be able to see that, watch that, and then go, wow, kind of put yourself there and go, is this going to happen to me? I mean, that must have been so scary for you.
Yeah, I mean, the hardest part about it, I think, is just like with both school and golf, like all the work that I put forward to it, like especially school, like that's always been one of the biggest, most important things to me. And like if I get a B, like just there's just something inside me that just says like your potential is higher, and like I just always strive to do the best at whatever it is I do, because I mean, for reasons like I mean, just don't take things for granted really, and definitely learn that
Yeah.
the most impactful way.
Do you think that the discipline and the effort and the passion that you applied to that is, pushed you through this experience?
I mean, it, that's like what's really pushed me through this is just, I mean, a lot of people who know me know that I do have a very stubborn mindset, and I mean,
It's a good thing, Ryan.
It's a
for
good quality to
this,
have.
Yeah.
I guess it is a very good thing, because I will not let cancer be what takes me out of this world.
I love that. I love hearing you say that. It makes me happy, and I'm sure your parents sitting beside you hearing that too.
Yeah.
To have a strong family support, by your side, knowing that your parents were there, your stepfather and everybody was there that loved you. Was that, kind of helped you pull through as well?
Well, I mean, when it comes to support, like I think that's one of the most important things to get through anything difficult in life. And it wasn't just my parents' support. I had the support of the Arabian horse community. I grew up showing horses, so they all really kind of, I mean, when I was in the hospital for a month, I received mail every single day, and had hundreds and hundreds of cards sent to me, just telling me to get better. And so having that family and just friends, my best friend Joya, she was always there for me from the day I was diagnosed. And that's really something a lot of people don't know, is kind of you lose the people that you think you're really close to, because I mean, some people just, I feel, don't know how to react to something like that, and it's those core people that stay by you throughout everything that just help you get through anything.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, what does it feel like to going through the chemo? I mean, is it painful? I know that you shared in some of your stories and stuff like that. I don't know what cancer feels like.
Yeah.
Is it painful? Is chemo painful?
I mean, for me, my starting was probably the hardest part, being in septic shock and stuff. I also had pancreatitis when I was first admitted, and they limited me to 20 grams of fat a day, which is great if you're trying to lose weight fast, but I lost 40 pounds within a month.
Wow.
And but I mean, in comparison, the chemo and stuff, I was really lucky. I because of my strong mindset, I never let myself throw up from the chemo and stuff. And it's just now I take oral chemo every night, and then go in once a month for either chemo in my spine or through my port. And I mean, it'll make me feel a little funky for a little bit, but then I'm always out doing something right after.
How do you keep this positive mindset? What are your thoughts? I mean, tell us what you're thinking. How do you get through this?
I mean, I I feel that if you just, I mean, being positive through things, being negative doesn't do anything to help
Yeah.
you. So I've just really tried to focus on the things that I've gained through this, and by keeping myself busy. I mean, from the first month I was in the hospital, I said that I wanted to learn how to fly. My dad has his pilot's license, and
Amazing.
we used to fly when I was little, and so I figured this was a perfect time for me to do something new. And we actually flew down here today, so I'm super blessed to be getting able to do that. And
That's awesome.
I'd have my pilot's license now if it wasn't for chemo and not being able to get a
But
class 3.
you're gonna have it. I mean,
December 2018, I'll have my pilot's license.
I love it. Setting goals is so important, and
Yeah.
living in gratitude. You're living proof of this. Living in gratitude is, the biggest thing here to realize, because, it's speaking and breathing life into
Yeah.
into you, and having the love and the family support around you, because times like this are tough. I mean, people think going through divorce, moving, all these other big stressors in life. I mean, they have no idea.
Yeah.
So when push comes to shove and you get, in a tough situation like that you don't think would ever happen to you. That's the one thing. It's
Yeah.
just like, that's what I was thinking today when I was, thinking about this interview today, and thinking, like, you just think it would never happen to you.
Exactly.
And that's the most shocking part of it. And especially too, he's saying, a 5-year-old's disease, it's supposed to be, and now you're 17. I mean, it's like, where does this, I guess it just, do the doctors say, like, do they give you any information of, like, this type of leukemia, like it hits other people at certain ages, or?
I mean, so yeah, they told me that it's most common in younger patients, but they also told me that the survival rate of ALL was the highest, well, was higher than a lot of other cancers. So I am very lucky to have that, but cancer is still cancer, and no matter what form it is. So
Okay, so what do the doctors say right now? What stages are you in? What are they saying?
So right now I'm in remission, but so my total treatment time is around 3.5 years. So I'll be done in December of 2018. That's why I say that's when I'll have my pilot's license, because after I'm done with chemo, I'll be able to apply for a Class 3 medical license, which you need to get your private pilot's license.
Amazing.
And so it's just,
But he's in the 9th month of maintenance. So basically, frontline. He was in frontline, which is the intense chemotherapy for
Okay.
about, I think it was 9 or 10 months. And now he's in a maintenance phase. The word maintenance is a little kind of tricky, but because he's still in active treatment.
Okay.
It just means that instead of going to the hospital like once a week or several times a week or being inpatient, he's on his chemo that he can take orally instead of being administered via his port.
Okay.
So he's doing really well. He's still in the very high risk category because he did not. They want to see kids and teenagers want to see them in remission after the first 30 days of their the frontline treatment.
Okay.
He did not reach that mark. He reached it at the end of 2 months.
Okay.
So that's the reason why he's in the very high risk. So he got extra doses of intense chemotherapy.
Okay.
And because basically what they're trying to do is keep his ANC in a range between 500 and 1,500, and our normal ANC is between 5,000 to 10,000.
Okay.
And the reason why that is, it's like a garden. So your bone marrow is like a garden,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't want the leukemia, which is weeds, to grow. So they're putting chemotherapy or like Roundup
Yeah.
basically in your body to prevent the
Okay.
leukemia cells to grow. So they don't want the environment to be conducive to leukemia to come back.
Okay. Yeah,
So that's
I
what they're
get it.
kind of doing. And so boys actually get an extra year of treatment.
Why is that?
It's because the leukemia cells kind of hide out in their extra areas, like
Okay, get it.
so that's kind of that for whatever reason. I mean, that's where they kind of tend to hide.
Okay. Yep.
So that's the reason why he's in another year. But I mean, he's
You're a
doing really
fighter.
well, and I'm really proud of him. I mean,
Yeah.
he's just remarkable,
And you guys are remarkable too. Honestly, if I can say anything, I admire the two of you as well and Ryan, because to go through something like this and stay strong and I just, my hat's off to both of you.
Thank you.
And my heart goes out to you. And I'm going to ask you guys, my viewers and listeners, to please pray for Ryan Melendez and his family. And please, let's start a prayer circle. And honestly, prayer, there's so much power in it. Please pray for him, even if it's just once or twice or just anything, just anybody out there listening. I please ask that of you. And continue to pray for people that are fighting diseases and anything in life. So we just want to make sure that our hearts are here and invested and help him through it. We're going to actually bring on Dr. Colleen Mullen, and then we're going to come back and talk about some of the other stuff that Ryan's doing right now. So I'd like to welcome to the show Dr. Colleen Mullen. Colleen, are you there? Are you there, Colleen?
Doctor, you there?
Maybe we'll call her back. All right, so she'll probably call back in. And then we're going to get Dr. Colleen Mullen on and talk to her a little bit. And then I want to talk about the things that you're doing right now. And so we can help raise money and get you to be the man of the year. You already are the man of the year, but you know what? But just even more, right?
Yeah. The big thing is just to raise more awareness and just a little more fighting for a cure. Because, I mean, the big thing for me when I was in the hospital, when I was first in there, I remember I never wanted to actually go out in the hallways. But when I did go out in the hallways, all you see are little kids, 5, 6, just all ranging of ages. But
Yeah.
the one thing that really inspired me was just seeing all of them running around with smiles on their faces. So that got me to really get out there and just that's probably the hardest thing, is just seeing kids like that who really, I mean, I don't remember what my mindset was when I was that age, but I can't imagine them really fully understanding what they have to go through. So
Yeah. Yeah, well, I've seen you with those little cuties, and I mean, just you were such a great role model, and thank you for doing that, because I mean, those pictures are adorable. What was the little girl's name?
for
The one that I saw in the picture that we posted.
I think it was Charlie.
Charlie, I think it's Charlie, yeah.
Oh, she's adorable.
So
Love
cute.
Charlie.
But yeah, I mean, they're just, looking up to you. So you're just such a good example,
Thank you.
and that courage, and, you are a fighter. I think we might have Dr. Colleen Mullen online. Dr. Mullen, you there? I know she's there somewhere. I'll try to give her a call back.
Doctor, you there?
So tell us the site that we can go to so that we can help raise some money.
So we actually have 2 sites. There's ryanforacure.com,
Okay.
and that kind of just gives you guys a little more info on kind of my fight and what the Man of the Year program is for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And it also has some of the other warrior kids and their stories on there.
Okay.
And then I'm also starting this program called Warrior Horses for Warrior Kids.
Mm-hmm.
And what that is because of everything that the Arabian horse has done for me in helping me get through my battle.
Yeah.
I thought it would be a great way to great thing to pair warrior kids, kids who are going through cancer, and just giving them the opportunity to be matched with a horse, because horses, in my opinion, are just so therapeutic
Yeah.
and so loving creatures. And so for every $1,000 raised, we're matching a pediatric cancer uh, kid fighter with a
Mm-hmm.
horse.
That's amazing. I love how we call them warriors too, because
Yes.
you guys definitely are.
That
Yes.
is definitely
Definitely
true.
are. I love that. It's so Arabian horses, and so we can find that. And tell us about the man of the year. So how do we work with that as well?
So they all, what the Man of the Year program is I was one of the nominees for the San Diego chapter,
Mm-hmm.
but my goal actually is to reach out and go past my city
Mm-hmm.
and try and become the National Man of the Year. And I'm trying to break the record for the most money ever raised. All the money goes towards research, and it's all tax deductible.
Okay, good.
And so I just really, I mean, a lot of the people that are nominated are CEOs of companies and stuff, and I'm actually one of the younger people ever nominated. So
Mm-hmm.
um, just, I mean, I feel it hits me so much closer to my heart, because I've actually seen these kids and fought with these kids
Yeah.
in the hospital while I was in there, and it's no kid should have to hear the words "you have cancer," let
Mm-hmm.
alone anyone.
Yeah.
So all this money goes straight to research, funding research portfolios. So it's just
Mm.
another way to try and end this forever lasting battle.
I know. We are actually working with the charity called Megan's Wings and Children for Cancer, and they've got a great organization. It's actually not putting the money towards cancer
Hmm.
research, but more to the families, so
Mm-hmm.
helping them pay
Yeah.
for bills
Yeah,
and
and
cars and things like that. So,
LLS,
yeah,
Leukemia Lymphoma Society, they also do
that's
that too with
great.
the money, and it's just whatever whatever we can do as
Hmm.
a society, really, to just help these warriors.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me how the hospital, so the name of the hospital, and tell me your experience with the doctors and the nurses and how they helped you.
So I received my care at Rady Children's Hospital in
Hmm.
San Diego, and I'm so fortunate. If I had to receive my care anywhere, I'm glad it was here. You really create a family-like bond with the nurses. I mean, they're there with you day and night, and
Yeah.
they really do care about every single kid on that floor. And I mean, it really sucks because they have laws that don't allow you really to connect with them outside of the hospital.
Yeah.
So that makes it really tough. And the doctors there are just phenomenal, and just super blessed that I've been able to get all my care there. And it's a great place.
That's good. And what's your experience, mom and dad, with the hospital as well?
Oh, it's it for a while it was our second home.
Hmm.
And just basically what Ryan said. I mean, the care there is exceptional, and I'm just really grateful that we did get connected with phenomenal doctors. His main oncologist is Dr. Schiff,
Okay.
and she has a couple other oncologists under her, and Dr. Aaron and Dr. Scott.
Hmm.
And they're I mean, great. Dr. Scott's just probably one of our favorites. Ryan and him really connect because they have the goth kind of connection,
Yeah.
and he's just a great doctor to. He'll talk to Ryan kind of on a friendship level.
Great.
But I mean, yeah, Rady's, and they've done a lot for all of their families in regards to giving them supportive care. They
Yeah.
have several programs for families to support groups and stuff that they're able to, attend and talk to, and counseling and stuff like that.
That's good. And we're, I know we're having some phone issues, but we're actually going to segue into that because I really want to know what kind of support there is for the families going through this, and if there's support groups and counseling and things like that. So we're going to try to get Dr. Colleen Mullen on. We're having technical difficulties on the field. Dr. Colleen Mullen? Hi.
Hi.
How are
Hi,
you? It's the first time we're ever using a phone. Hi. I'm just kidding, guys. I don't know if you guys are able to hear Dr. Colleen Mullen. I hope so. So if the loudest you can speak, that'd be great. And welcome to the show. Dr. Colleen Mullen is, a very reputable doctor, and she's also a great friend of mine. And we're really honored to have you on the show today. Meet Ryan Melendez and his mom and dad, Crystal and Bill.
Yeah. Hi. So I did get a chance to listen to some of the show before we started having all this technical problems. And I should say I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, so I'm not a medical doctor. But, I just want to say, I think you said Brian is your name?
Yes.
What a strong young man. Oh, my gosh, and the resiliency that you were demonstrating. It's just amazing. So I'm glad I'm getting a chance to actually express that to you. I didn't think we were actually going to be able to make this call work.
I know. I'm excited that I don't know if I can hear myself, but we're excited that you're on. And I was just segueing in and speaking about how if there's family counseling and support, for dealing with something like this. I mean, because I was saying how strong the family is here to be able to go through something like this, and it's not over. I mean, this is a daily thing, and we're just we're in the moment now, today, in the present. But I mean, this is on a daily basis. There's still going to be worry. There's still going to be fear. There's still going to be pain. There's still going to be the sleepless nights and all that.
Of course, there's so many things that a family goes through during that time, and it really just and in particular having a child get sick in the way that Brian did really can often tears a family apart. So really, it's a great testimony to the strength of the parents' relationship, that they're all sitting there together and hearing about flying down for the show today. I mean, really just, it's a wonderful thing, because it is one of probably the most stressful things a family can go through, obviously, is worrying, about a child who has a serious illness.
Yeah, absolutely. And wouldn't you say too, I mean, Ryan, like you said, the strength and the character here. I mean, he's a strong young man. And talking about, in our industry, the health and wellness industry, and it being a doctor as well in this area. The thing is that having the skills to live in gratitude and live in a positive mindset is so difficult when you're faced with something like this. I mean, I've never been through anything like this. I've been through so many things that have taken me down and taken me out, and I haven't been able to deal with it. I mean, when my mom passed, I was absolutely a wreck. I mean, I remember my son looking over at me, and he just was sobbing, and I checked out. I couldn't even be a mom at that point. And he's like, "Are you going to be okay?" And I said, "I don't know." And I just remember because I never felt anything like that. And so we're not taught how to handle situations like this. We didn't learn
And
this.
I'll say your audio is patchy on my end, so I'm trying to keep up with you. But we're not equipped. We don't get taught how to deal with this. And even when we lose a parent because they get older, and we know that it's that time of life, it's still painful. But then when we have, a loved one goes through the struggle, and as you lost your mom to cancer, to have them, as I was listening to you on the earlier part of the show, talk about just seeing what it was doing to her, right? You get put in this helpless position, and no one likes to be helpless right off the bat. And then when it's helpless to save the life of someone that we love, I mean, you can't write a manual for how to cope with that.
Yeah.
It is, you do the best that you can, you stay connected to the people that you love, you follow the doctor's orders, you take care of yourself while you are trying to tend to your loved because they need you as you are, because while they're sick, and just like with Brian and his parents, I'm sure that they had their moments behind the scenes where
Yeah.
they shielded him maybe from their worry along the way. Because that's what we do. We want to make sure that the person who's actually sick and needs to get better has that positive energy around them,
Yeah.
because it is better for them and their recovery.
Yeah.
So, it is one of the most tough things to deal with. Certainly, is loss and then unexpected loss. But here we have the opposite end of this right now. I
That's
understand
right.
that he is still undergoing chemotherapy, but he's so resilient and he's got this strong mindset and he has a lot of inner strength.
Yeah.
So, and he's got a strong family supporting him. So, I mean, he seems to be on. I didn't catch the whole show, but it sounded like for the part that I heard that he's in a good place right now and stable, and he's
Absolutely.
looking forward to better days and getting well. I heard him say he's going to get his license to fly like in the summer of next year, right? So that's not someone who's letting the fact that he's sick hold him and go, oh gosh, I can't live my life until I get better. I mean, he's living his life, and that's probably the best thing ever that he could be doing for his own recovery.
Absolutely. It just is remarkable. Just, I mean, his energy, his presence, everything about him is just absolutely beautiful. And I want to talk about before we talk about some other things, Colleen, is that I would like to talk about some coping mechanisms for the parents, because not being parents, but for them alone, for them dealing with the stress and the
You're
issue.
saying, what can the parents do to deal with the stress? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, for a coping mechanism for them, for themselves to be able to handle this.
Right. So coping, right, just like I was saying, like taking care of themselves. Hopefully, if mom and dad had things that they were involved in before, or with their friends or their jobs, that they're still doing as much as they can to live their life as normal as possible, while they also assist their son going through the treatment. And that can mean, also for them, not just sitting on the couch going, oh my God, my son is sick. I can't breathe until he gets better. Like,
Yeah.
that's not going to help anything. Keep up with your own health.
Yeah.
Treat yourself well. Get exercise. See your friends. And one of the things, when you have someone that you're dealing with, whether it's a parent or a child that's dealing with an illness, when you go have coffee with your friends, particularly women, and we want to chat about everything and we want to make everybody better, it's great. One of the things that I work with my clients on so much is when they're going through some traumatic things, is to say, you know what, go have lunch with one of your great friends and focus on their life. Say, because they'll want to say, how are you doing, and get all involved in all of that. And you can say, well, he's good, he's stable, we're dealing with it. But how are you? And shift the focus, because when you're dealing with someone who is ill in the family, everyone that you come in contact with wants to get you talking about it. And sometimes you just need a break from it.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that can feel, it can just feel very refreshing to go and have lunch with someone and go, oh, I didn't have to recount all the latest treatment stuff that he's going through. And I didn't have to tell them about the mishap that happened the other day, or the thing that worried me the other day. They got to have a break from it, because they're doing enough of that on their own, and they're together, so they're doing it enough together. So it's also great for the parents too to do that break with themselves.
Yeah.
And it sounds like this family has got a lot of that stuff down. I mean, when when they're out flying planes and stuff, I mean, they're certainly taking a break and focusing on the cancer. So that's
awesome.
really a wonderfully resilient trait. So it's don't people get worried, they feel guilty if they do things for themselves while someone that they love is sick. You still have to take care of yourself. Your life is still as it was, and it now has this added stress in it, and it can be terrible and unbearable at times, but you have to be able to pull yourself out and go, okay, but how can I just take care of things today? How do I just change changed my mindset. Just for today, I'm going to forget my son has cancer. And I'm just going to live my life and talk to people and interact and laugh and watch a funny movie or, just joke with everybody. It doesn't have to be so dire, But like I said, this family sounds like they've been doing really well with all of that. So I think I'm probably preaching to the choir right there.
I couldn't agree more. And that is, thank you for sharing that, because I do think that's so important, making sure you're taking care of you guys as individuals.
Right.
And because the stronger you are, the stronger, I mean, he's already got this
Right.
on his own, but the stronger you are, the stronger Ryan's going to be. And you're just such great examples of all that. I mean,
Well, there's been days. I'm not gonna, there's
You're
there's
human.
days, and Doctor, it does resonate in regards to there is a tendency for, I call us warrior mamas, that we do sometimes isolate, right? So there are times that we do isolate, kind of shut ourselves off. And what I've done every day since September 7th, 2015, is I've actually written a journal in the form of Ryan's Facebook page, praying for the Ryan Melendez. And I have written every single day. I blogged it basically every single day, which helps, release it, and then I'm through it.
fantastic. That's good. Yeah, keeping up with that. So we have 5 minutes left. Again, before, if I don't get a chance to say it before the end of the show, before we make a little announcement here, I just want to say I admire all of you so much. Ryan, keep fighting. You guys all keep fighting, and you will always be in my prayers. And anything I can do to help support you and your family, you just say the word. And we'll start some charities, whatever we need to do. We'll get Life Angels involved, and my charity, and you're now my family. So
Thank you.
you guys are stuck with me. Just saying.
Love it.
It's okay.
So thank you for being here today. I just, and every day I want to see you get that pilot's license, and maybe you can
Definitely.
teach me some golf, because I'm terrible.
We're still
Can
here.
you still hear us?
It's patchy, so I'm moving around trying to see where it's better. But yes, I'm here.
All right, Dr. Colleen Mullen. So we've got a couple minutes left. So if you want to share with what we have going on, I would love for you to share.
I know. So I am so excited to help share this announcement with you that
Yep.
you are going to come down to San Diego and be the Coaching Through Chaos, which is the practice that I founded. You're going to be the Coaching Through Chaos Health and Wellness Coach. And I'm so excited to have you on staff with us.
Thank you so much. I am so excited, and I'm so honored. I'm all getting emotional because, this is something very close to my heart. I've been, working in this industry for a very long time and helping people. And I'm just honored and proud to be a part of what Dr. Colleen Mullen's doing, Coaching Through Chaos. She has such a wonderful, reputable practice in San Diego. And yes, I'm still going to be in LA, you guys, but San Diego is going to be where I'm going to be as well for work. And I'm just so excited for this new opportunity. And we're going to be working alongside a lot of charities and doing some women's groups, women's retreats, joining forces with such a great team down there. So Coaching Through Chaos, I'm super honored, you guys.
Well, I'm thrilled to have you, and I would, and just so that your audience also knows, what we all do. So I have myself, I have a couple licensed therapists on the practice. I have a couple of therapist interns. You're going to be our health and wellness coach. I've got an alcohol and drug abuse counselor, and we're also got a motivational speaker. We've got therapists that focus on men. We've got a trans expert. So, we are building. I've been doing this a long time by myself, and all of a sudden just kind of blew it up, and I'm so grateful for everybody that has come out of the woodwork to come and work with me, because you all are people that I just so respect. And this week has been, we've been down here doing all of our, getting ourselves ready and getting all the ink dry on the new contracts for everybody. And I'm just beside myself with gratitude for, what I've been what I've been able to create. But I can only do that with great people like you coming on board. So I'm really excited for the work that you're going to get to do with the clients
Yay, so exciting. So big changes.
know.
Thank you for the opportunity. I mean, it's going to be amazing. They can find us. Can you give us the website? We've got about 40 seconds left before we close the show.
Yes, and I've got a client. So coachingthroughchaos.com.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have a Facebook page that's pretty active.
Yep.
And we're going to also be having everybody doing live chats from there. So if everybody went to facebook.com/coachingthroughchaos, they can like that, and then they'll be notified when the live chats go. But we do blog posts, videos, live chats. We've got podcasters. So, so we've got a whole range of opportunities for in-person services or free online stuff that we have for people to access. So I am going to have to run.
Okay, have a great session with your client.
Able to get this in during this hour.
Thank you so much, Dr. Colleen Mullen, and have a great rest of the evening. I know you're going on another radio station, and have fun on there and enjoy, and we will connect with you soon. All right, guys. Bye. Thank you. So we have ended the show. Ryan Melendez, his mom and dad, Crystal and Bill. Keep your prayers going, you guys. Don't stop, or I'm coming after you. Okay, so make sure you do that, and live in gratitude. This is definitely a full reflection of that. This whole family here, and Ryan, I know that you're going to be at Stanford one day. You're going to be flying planes. You're going to be a golf pro. You're going to do all these things, and you're going to teach me how to golf. So TLC Unleashed Show, Hollywood Vibes, Sports and Life, every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can also find me at www.tlcunleashed.com and then www.coachingthroughchaos.com. So until next time, we'll see you later.
Hey, what's up? This is your girl, Honey, and I'm asking you to tune in to Honey's Closet every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 8 to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on thepowerofvoices.com.
I am done with my mattress. That's right. I'm not spending another night on this old bag. My new mattress comes today, and this thing is out of here. Bye-bye, mattress.
Yep,